So this is exciting. We're at the Jaspi Wilson Dalbeattie Open Day, and for the very first time people are getting to see this. And Ian, you're the brains behind it. Ian, what is this behind us?
It was a machine we've just designed this year, and it's really designed to deal with the rubbish that we all get in our firewood yards. And everyone's got a pile of stuff that they either don't want to touch or never touch, or a lot of it just gets thrown over the bank and in the end up it just rots. So this machine's designed to be able to mechanically deal with the rubbish that you would normally have to get your chainsaw out for, basically. We've got some machines in our range that deal with rings very, very efficiently. That bit's no problem. It's the hard work is preparing the rings and loading the rings onto the machine. It's a standard saw with an adapter in the middle that allows you to independently place the saw at the angle that you want it. The key is to get two parallel edges on your rings. So, for instance, for today, I'm just asking the guys to bring me all the rubbish that they come across that won't go straight through a machine, and I'll either trim it up for them or I'll actually process it through, ready to go into the other machines.
Yeah. So it's called the Firewood Ringer, I'm right to say.
Yeah.
Tell me the story behind it. When did you come up with this?
Well, last year actually, when we were doing this same show, we had that autologger, as we call it, there, Posh machine working away, and you know, it was such hard work to keep the machine going. It's so good at what it does, but again, it's very manual ringing up to put onto this thing, and I had a harvester working to do rings, and everything's fine when it's straight. As soon as you get, you know, your typical limbs that we have to deal with, that angle changes all the time. So this allowed me to do the same thing, but just to manipulate the saw to give those straight edges. There'll always be an element of waste that you can cut out of the timber, and I'm putting that straight into a trailer that tips into our biomass store, so it's dealt with at the same time. There's no extra clearing up other than the sawdust that you'll leave behind. There's nothing. So potentially it keeps a yard cleaner, more efficient, and the more time you can spend doing firewood instead of clearing up, you know?
Yeah. And this is quite a unique idea as well. I mean,
it's a brand new idea. I've got a patent on the machine, on the idea. We know it's brand new, and it's something that I think is working very well, even in its prototype form. We would be happy to take orders for a machine now, even though we've still got the final design to sort out, but it's simple enough. I feel we can do that in a short period of time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So why don't we talk about some of the components? So then you mentioned here, what is this made up of, and what did you add to it?
Okay, so if we come round this side, the machine uses a standard grapple and a standard saw unit, standard rotator. They're not altered at all. So we've got a very good make here, Hultdins, that we're an agent for. Yep. Arguably best saw you'll buy. I think when you're dealing with a large timber, I think it warrants a good quality saw in there. Although you could build the machine with a much cheaper saw. So the part that we build fits in between it all. So you've essentially got an extension in the middle there that runs out. You've got a tilt on the whole thing, so you can lift the saw up out the way, and then on the end here you've got a multi-axis movable head that you can place into any position. Obviously it's always got its limits, but it's a sort of machine that always surprises you that you can reach some of these angles. Yeah. And if you can't, you just grab it in a slightly different way, and you'll always be able to manipulate it into a position. So it's really comes down to what quality you want to cut.
Yeah, exactly.
And how much time you want to spend on it. But you know, it's the sort of machine, it feels so productive when you're on it, because you're dealing with all this problem stuff. Yeah. Even when you're learning it, it's still earning you money, you know?
Yeah. So the only components you've added then, so these are obviously standard, as you say, the only components is this and this green bit.
It's really the green and the grey bit in the middle, and it because it has to work in between the grapple and the rotator, but they need to remain solid. You know, as soon as you've got a hold of that log, you don't have to let it go again until you want to reposition. Yeah. So even if the saw gets stuck, you can manipulate the saw out without normally having to let go of the log, which is a bit of a sort of, you know, 50-50 chance sometimes. So it's very safe to use. And I say the saw unit, I mean, for instance, this is my second chain. We're well through the second day now, and I caught something in one of the logs. It must have been a nail in it or something, but it's not sore on chains, it's the original bar, so it doesn't take a lot of running.
No, no, it doesn't. And so I guess then, for you, this obviously is a new concept, but what do you see as the big benefits of this then? There's an idea like this, what benefits will bring to firewood businesses or other businesses that might use it?
I think this will take care of all the awkward timber that everyone tends to throw to the side, which will end up maybe through a chipper when there's good firewood could be got out of it, broken up just to be put into biomass, or sometimes even just pushed over the edge.
Yeah, okay.
But if that stuff's left, it tends to rot, and then it's not going to make good firewood anyway. So I think the idea, if you look at the likes of the stack that's behind us there's a mixture of very good stuff that'll go straight through the processor, some bigger stuff that would go through a big machine, but the twisted and the awkward stuff, it's going to get moved to the side, so we're going to deal with that as it comes. And what I'd like to see is stacks and no rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there's all sorts of challenges that come with that, depending on the size of your yard, and it can become quite overwhelming, this mess that gathers up. And it's always an interruption to go and deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to take that through as it comes, so I think most people would see a benefit for this in their yard,
Yeah.
I think.
And that's a realistic, prospect.
Yeah.
Most people that do firewood will have mess in their yard. They probably just don't want to
I think it has
tackle.
to be. I mean, we do get customers that insist on buying the best quality timber that's out there, and that's fine, but they'll pay for it. We're potentially now opening ourselves up to actually buying the cheap timber and getting our wood out of that,